Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting episode 1 of a series that I'm really excited to start. But one of the first things that anybody tells me when I ever bring up that I scrapbook or they find out that I like scrapbooking is that they really would love to scrapbook, but they have no idea where to start and that it's so overwhelming. So that is why I thought it would be useful if I did a little beginner scrapbooking series where I go through and show you guys the basics, everything you need to know to get started on your own scrapbook. So I put out a poll on my channel and you guys told me that in this first episode, you want to see what my favorite scrapbooking supplies, my scrapbooking basics are. So I have my handy dandy notes here and we're gonna go through what I believe are all the basics that you need to start your very own scrapbook today. In my opinion, they're pretty basic. Well, obviously they're the basic supplies you need, but they're not difficult to find. You can find them at your local Michael's. Any local craft store will have all of these supplies and you can literally get started today. So let's jump into it. So the first and most crucial item that you're gonna need to start your own scrapbook or junk journal kind of thing, because I don't know, I think some people would classify what I do as junk journaling, but I don't really journal in it. I kind of just scrapbook the junk. So let me know what that means, if this is a scrapbook or a junk journal. But you're gonna need your very own scrapbook or junk journal. And this one, I got it in a pack of 3 from Michael's many, many years ago. And it is the best scrapbook journal ever. I think it might be the Moleskine 5x7 Kaher journal is what it looks like. But really any journal will do for people who maybe are a little bit overwhelmed with the idea of scrapbooking or traditional scrapbooks. You think of those huge 12x12 books. I would not start with that. I think that this scrapbook, which is 5x7, or if you want a square, like 8x8 or something like that, is the perfect size to start at because these pages aren't too overwhelming to fill. In a single day's activity or event, I feel like I can get enough pictures and junk that I want to put in the scrapbook, and I can just collect it over one day. So I feel like that's maybe a little less daunting for people who are just starting out scrapbooking, because a huge 12x12 layout would be impossible even for me to just figure out in my head. But this I think is a little bit more manageable, so I would recommend going for a smaller scrapbook to start out. Next, another crucial supply that you'll need to get started is your background paper, which I keep in this handy dandy folder here, along with my stickers, which we'll talk about later. Most of the papers I have are from my mom, or Michael's, or from my childhood, and I don't know where they're from. But if you go into any craft store, they'll have a section where you can get either booklets of backing cardstock paper that you can use for backgrounds in your spreads, or they'll have the loose leaf paper that you can just buy one page at a time. If you're just starting out, I would recommend getting one of the booklets because you'll just have a variety of things in there that you can pick from for each of your spreads. You can get what matches best with what you want your layout to look like. But if you have a specific event that you see one of those loose leaf papers would be perfect for, totally grab it. I think that having a fun background is one of the most important parts of making the junk journal or scrapbook page look good. I feel like I always regret not having a background color, even if it's just a solid color, but a background pattern or color or page or something, because I feel like it just fills up the page more, makes it look more complete, even if the rest of your layout maybe didn't turn out how you wanted it to. So I definitely recommend getting some background paper. Next, we're going to be talking about my favorite pens, markers, writing utensils. If you're just starting out, I think that you should just stick to basics and all you need is a black pen. But if you're wanting to get a little bit fancier with your layouts, I would suggest also getting a white pen. But with these two, those are the only two pens that I use still to this day. I only use a black and white pen. Like I said, I don't really like to journal in my scrapbook that much or write. I like to just have kind of a collection of the photos and junk and other memories. But if you're more into the journaling or writing, then I would definitely recommend having these two and maybe other colors as well. But these are my favorite black and white pens. The black one is the Figma Micron 0.8 or 08. It has been my favorite black calligraphy pen, whatever you want to call it, since high school. I've stuck tried and true to it. I'm loyal to it. It has never done me wrong. I would totally recommend getting this pen, and they last forever. I don't even know when I bought this, but they last a long time. My white pen that I have is the Uniball Signo Broad. I'm not sure if I'm saying any of that correctly. When picking out a white pen, I really wanted one that would be extremely pigmented because a lot of the white pens that I've tried out before just don't have a lot of pressure or a lot of ink flow to them, and then they end up streaky or just not looking right. And this one has done the trick, so I definitely recommend it. Lastly, if you're looking for a more colorful addition to your journal or scrapbook, I recommend the Uniposca markers. These went viral, I want to say during COVID, but they are so pigmented and work perfectly on photo paper, or they'll write on Polaroids, and they have just the cutest colors, and I totally recommend them if you're wanting just something fun to be able to draw on your pictures and backgrounds, and you know that it'll show up in those fun colors. Next, we're going to talk about adhesives, which are another crucial element to your junk journal. I honestly, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably know, I almost exclusively use a tape runner for everything in my scrapbook. This is the Elmer's tape runner, but you can get any of them and they're refillable, so it's definitely a cheaper alternative. But I use this for my pictures, for my backgrounds, anything that I want to add in on there. So I definitely recommend this. It's stronger than glue, in my opinion, much easier to apply. So I totally recommend. But of course, if you want to also have glue, this can be good just for background paper or any other papers that you're attaching. And then lastly, photo corners. Photo corners are a good way to spruce up your spread. I honestly forget to use them a lot of the time because I'm so just in the zone using my tape runner, but they can be really fun. I think it looks like a little more akin to a traditional scrapbook, which can be fun sometimes. And it's also good for bulkier photos like Polaroids, or I've put a card in there before, and the photo corners are really good for keeping things that don't like to bend very easily down on the page, where the tape runner or glue, you know, it adheres to the page, it's going to curve with it. So you want something like the photo corner that'll curve with the picture. Next, we're going to talk about my favorite supplies to take the actual clippings that you want to include in your journal or scrapbook. So I almost exclusively use just your plain handy dandy scissors. You can use scissors for almost anything. Like I said, my scrapbook is a little bit more like a junk journal, so it's a little disorganized and funky, and the lines aren't necessarily straight, and that's fine because it's eclectic and it's my junk journal. So I was usually fine with my scissors and, you know, cutting out different elements with that, but I concede that it is useful to have something that you can make sure you're going to cut straight. So my lovely mother bought me an X-Acto knife, which I've used X-Acto knives before, and she also has one of the slidey cutters. Now that is perfect if you know that you want to create a scrapbook that is more clean cut, you want your lines to be straight, you should get one of those slide cutters for sure. I feel like the X-Acto knife is a good medium between my haphazard scissor use and the slide cutting, because it is still, you know, I'm I'm cutting it, I'm drawing the line, but it is definitely meant to be straight. And of course, if you do go the X-Acto knife route, you should definitely get a grid mat, because the X-Acto knife is no joke. It will pierce through multiple pages and down into whatever surface you're cutting on. So you definitely want something to protect the surfaces that you're working on, but also it's nice and useful because it has all the lines that you can follow, even circles, degrees, a bunch of stuff that I haven't even used yet. So definitely essential if you do want to get the X-Acto knife. Next, we're gonna talk about my favorite ways of actually getting the photos that you want in your scrapbook. So obviously you can just print out your photos on a normal printer, and I like to, for when I'm printing out photos for a background, or I've just decided I want to use just a normal printer, I'll use Canva to design the layout on the page and then print it out, cut out all the elements, and I can glue them on. Hopefully, if you guys like this series, that can be another episode. Today, I want to highlight 2 other ways that you guys can print out the photos that you want to use in your scrapbook. If you're looking for a more traditional or unfiltered look to your scrapbook or journal, I would recommend definitely getting a Polaroid or one of the Polaroid printers. The Polaroid camera itself is really nice because you can just take it out and snap the photos while you're out and about, and you already have them to put in your scrapbook. But I usually find that I forget my Polaroid camera at home until I've done the event that I want to scrapbook, so that's why I also like having the Polaroid printer, because you can just print out photos from your phone after the fact onto Polaroid photo paper. The second printer that I want to highlight is the HP Sprocket. I believe this is the 2x3. I'll have to confirm that and I'll have it on the screen for you guys, but I absolutely love this printer. It's super easy. You just need to get the app on your phone and you send it to the printer, it prints it off, and you can use this for actual just normal photos. You can get the HP photo paper that fits inside, and it'll print off on photo paper and it looks fantastic. But what I really like is the sticker paper that you can put in here. So it'll print off your photo onto a sticker backing, so you don't even have to worry about any of the adhesives we talked about. You can just stick your photo right onto the page using the sticker backing. You can even cut out shapes on what you printed out to create your own personalized stickers. I think that it's a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of a commitment, I guess. So you might want to make sure you're committed to journaling or scrapbooking. But if you are really wanting to commit to it, I think that this makes your life a whole lot easier. The last thing, or actually it's a collection of things that I want to talk about, are just the different add-ons that you can put on your page once you've put your background, once you've put your photos and your junk and everything else. What do you want to add to make it more you and fun? I like stickers, obviously, if you've seen any of my videos. I just think there's so many fun stickers out there, and I want to use them on my page. But the other thing that a lot of other scrapbookers like to use, and I dabble with a little bit, is different tapes. This is just super skinny washi tape in a variety of colors, which I really like because I'm not as dedicated to the washi tape. I don't have a huge collection of washi tape with all the patterns and colors, so I thought that this would be a good intro for me because I can just add any of these colors onto any of the spreads. But if you think you're more into the tape route than the sticker route, then you should definitely invest in any sort of washi tape. But I think that stickers, washi tape are 2 great ways to start adding on to your scrapbook pages over just the traditional photos and handwritten notes. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. Those are all of my essential scrapbooking supplies to get you guys started on your scrapbook journey. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them, or maybe there'll be another episode in this series. So make sure to come back, check those out when they are published, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!